But other times, we do see. We just don't want to accept what it is that we're seeing. And that's because acceptance often requires change, and change is uncomfortable. Welcome to the Bounce Back Black Woman podcast. I'm Dell, coach, author, mom, and your sister along this journey of healing, growth, resilience, and living more intentionally. As Black women, we know all too well that life can break our hearts in more ways than one. But here in this space, we heal, grow, rebuild, and bounce back together. Because it's not just you. It's not just me. It's us. Hey there, my friend, and welcome back to Bounce Back Black Woman. I want to start this episode by asking you a question. Have you ever found yourself reacting to a situation and then later wondering things like, why did I say that? Or where did that come from? Or maybe you've looked back at a past relationship that ended and you thought, the warning signs were there all along. Why didn't I see them? Or perhaps you've repeated the same pattern over and over in your life, promising yourself, this time will be different, only to end up right back where you started. If any of those sound familiar, today's episode is for you. And that's because most meaningful change doesn't begin with action. Most meaningful change actually begins with awareness. And I'm not talking about simply noticing things. I'm talking about seeing clearly enough to understand what's really happening within you, around you, and sometimes because of you. Let's start with seeing versus accepting. One of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the years is this: you cannot accept or change what you are unwilling or unable to see. You see, sometimes we don't see things because we genuinely lack awareness. We are moving fast, or we're overwhelmed, we're surviving, or maybe because nobody has ever held up a mirror. But other times, we do see. We just don't want to accept what it is that we're seeing. And that's because acceptance often requires change. And change is uncomfortable. Maybe we know the relationship isn't healthy. Maybe we know we're overcommitted. Maybe we know we're avoiding having a difficult conversation. Maybe we know we're blaming everyone else for something that also requires us to look inward. Awareness asks us to simply be honest, and acceptance asks us to be courageous. And my friend, change starts right there. I think of awareness as 4 different mirrors. Mirror number 1 is yourself. Do you really know yourself? And I'm not talking about the version that you present to everyone else. I'm talking about the real you. Things like what triggers you, what drains you, what fills you with joy, real joy, what values guide your decision making, what fears quietly influence your choices. My friend, because if we don't understand ourselves, we often misunderstand our reactions to situations and other people. The second mirror is the mirror of others. How do people experience you? And I'm not talking about how you intend to come across. I'm talking about how you actually show up. Do people feel heard by you, safe around you, encouraged by you? Or do stress and exhaustion sometimes spill over onto the people that you love. Awareness isn't just understanding ourselves, it's understanding the impact that we have on those around us. The third mirror is your circumstances. Sometimes we're so busy wishing that life was different that we stop asking, what season am I actually in right now? Am I grieving? Am I burned out? Am I healing? Am I waiting? Am I growing? You see, God does some of his deepest work when we stop fighting the season that we're actually in and we start learning from it. The fourth mirror is your patterns. And this is where autopilot comes in. Patterns. The conversations you typically avoid is a pattern. The boundaries that you never seem to set is a pattern. The people that you keep choosing to be in your life is a pattern. The stories you keep telling yourself, that's a pattern too. The habits that quietly become your life is a pattern. My friend, if the same lesson keeps showing up wearing different clothes every time, it's worth taking a step back and asking why. Here's the beautiful thing about awareness. It isn't about beating yourself up. It isn't condemnation. And it isn't standing in front of a mirror listing everything that's wrong with you. Awareness is saying, now I understand. Because once you understand, then you have choices. Without awareness, you're simply reacting. But with awareness, you are responding. Without awareness, you're surviving. But with awareness, you can begin living intentionally. And my friend, there is so much freedom in that. One of my favorite prayers in Scripture comes from David in Psalm 139. And this is where David prayed, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. Point out anything in me that offends you, and lead me along the path of everlasting life." Notice what David didn't pray. He didn't begin by asking God to fix him. He began by asking God to show him with phrases like search me, know me, point it out. That is awareness, my friend. David understood something that we forget a lot of the time. And that's that God can't reveal what we are simply unwilling to look at. God gives us free will, and he almost never overrides it. So if you are not willing, he will slowly and subtly wait for you to be willing. Sometimes the most courageous prayer that we can pray is this: Lord, help me see what I have been unwilling to see. So this week, I'm not asking you to overhaul your life. What I'm asking you to do is become a student of your life. Pay attention. Notice your reactions. Notice your patterns. Notice the things that energize you. And notice the things that drain you. Notice the stories that you tell yourself. And notice the places where you've been unwilling or maybe unable to see clearly. Because, my friend, you can't accept or change what you are unwilling or unable to see. Awareness isn't the destination. Awareness is the doorway. And once you step through it, intentional living becomes possible. Well, that's it for today, my friend. I really hope this episode inspired, encouraged, or just plain comforted you. If so, please share it with a friend who might be struggling in her own healing journey. And if you take a moment to leave a quick review on Apple Podcasts, you'll help other women find encouragement through their heartbreak. Remember that God is holding your hand along this journey. And guess what? I'm holding the other. Life is short, so bounce back, Black woman.